Hey everybody, it's been a long couple of weeks here working on the Jeep. Now, I'd ordered a new power steering gear itself because mine had gone out. Now, as you know, I replaced the power steering pump, pulley, and belt. Well, with that new piece of equipment on there, it was pushing the correct amount of fluid through, so it actually blew the steering gear itself. So I had to replace that. Well, unbeknownst to me, there are two different models that go by the same number. They've got the 800 series and then some other series. They just changed the size of the actual unit itself. I didn't know that, and mine doesn't have the stamped numbers on the end like it's supposed to have because somebody replaced it with a different model. So that threw me off. But I made it work. See, I mounted this part to the Jeep. Found out that the hoses were O-ring style, and this requires the flare, the 45-degree inverted flare. This guy. Well, I swapped it out. I swapped out the hoses themselves. I had to choose different models of hoses that say they don't fit for Jeep, but once I switched over to that new power steering pump that is for that, I had to swap out the actual hoses. I chose this one and this one. Now, as those two hoses, they fit the actual pump. When it comes to the actual unit itself, the pump itself, there is no end for that. You can't go from flare on one end to O-ring on the other. It's just either flare and flare or flare and an open end. So I had to get this. The flare. Easy peasy. Pull off the old hose, pull off the old gear, mount the new gear, mount the new hoses, mount the hose to the top after installing the flare. Easy. Now, the hard part. The Jeep has a specific steering shaft with a specific spline count on the receiving end, your output end. That I had to switch out with this. Yeah, easy because you just have to grind down on one side, ground down on the other side. The whole thing falls off. Buff it out. Tap this new one on. Tighten down your bolt. Tighten the nut to lock it into place. Tap it onto the actual unit itself. And away you go. Easy. Now, should I have, just returned the pump or the actual gear itself and gotten the right one? I could have done that, yes, but this model is for the 64 to 74 Chevelle, which is a vehicle that weighs much more than the Jeep does, like by far, and it has a better power output. So I'm going with something that was meant for the smaller Jeep, for something that's meant for a larger car because the Jeep has much larger tires. And that's kind of what set it apart for me. Well, I need something to push, larger tires in a heavier vehicle, and I think that's what kind of broke the old power steering gear, was that the vehicle's much heavier with these giant wheels on it than it was before with the little tiny stock wheels. These guys are twice as big, maybe 3 times as big. They're massive. So that change up really, really needed to happen. And I'm actually happy with it because it got me to have the ability to, do the stuff that I wanted to and, make that happen. Now, the only thing I got to do now is it's 4 bolts that hold that pump on, or that gear on. I have to remove 3 of them and loosen the 4th so that I can shift it down and pull the unit off the steering column that's in the dash, so I can flip the steering column 180 degrees and reinstall it, because right now my steering wheel's upside down. Damn it. But before I had it all, adjusted left and right, center, fully adjusted, the steering wheel was cocked off to one side. Well, I unbolted it and switched it so that it was staying straight up and down. But I had slop in it. I adjusted for the slop, which then changed my steering wheel back to where it was uneven. Now, because it's a 5-pointed star pattern on it, instead of it being, 1 up and 2 down, it is now 2 up and 1 down. Well, center is 1 up. That screws me up. So I can't really just, flip the steering wheel upside down. Now, if it was a 6-way hub, then I could just do the whole thing. But it's 5 points, so it really screwed me there. But we're talking 4 bolts, 3 removed, 1 loosened, and then another one where I just have to undo a nut, and I just drop it down, flip the steering wheel, pick it back up. It's pretty simple stuff. Now, as for other stuff, I've got stuff that's going to be coming up. I'm a bit under the weather. I've been to the hospital twice in the past, week. Heart conditions and stuff, and it turns out that my big bad heart condition was actually due to basically they said it was tachycardia induced by excessive anxiety. You gotta understand, I am the mechanic here for the house and for some of my friends, so I'm working on anywhere between 5 to 12 vehicles every goddamn week, and I also have to do my normal job, plus I have to do all the housework, plus the yard work. Like, I am stretched as thin as can be. I had to pick up a Fitbit watch because I had to monitor myself. I literally had to monitor my own health. This thing monitors my sleep and everything, and it's telling me I need more sleep. It is horrible. But I'm currently busting ass on the Jeep now again, and one of these damn days I have got to get up to my property and fix the fencing up there. I recently spotted a whole bunch of cows and bulls up there, and the bulls have taken down the fence that I have up there. So that really kind of screwed me up. But as for the Jeep, I have now got perfect, amazing, awesome power steering, and it's just light turn of the wheel and I'm turning, light turn of the wheel and I'm turning. Just amazing device. And because it's much larger and stronger, I won't have to worry later on about it breaking down, because its output is like 3 times stronger than the old one, or the stock one, as you'd say. So it's definitely gonna last. It's probably gonna outlast me, because hell, the other one lasted this long. But I just wanted to give some updates. See you guys later.